Hello, my name is James Hunter, and this is my 2 cents channel where I talk about wellness topics from physical fitness to mental health and just topics that I may find interesting that I might want to discuss. And today I'm going to talk about body composition and body fat percentages and what may be considered to be what is what is a healthy standard to maybe think about, what is realistic, what's attainable, and what is the difference between being healthy versus just goals of aesthetics and so on. For those individuals who may compete in bodybuilding, they have a goal to get really lean. Myself, when I compete, I get as lean as 4% body fat. Based on skin fold measurements using a caliper and using different software programs that are fairly accurate when compared to other tests that I've done, such as the Bodyfat and DEXA scan. State-of-the-art equipment that actually can give you a good idea of body composition breakdown and body fat. So myself, yeah, I've been as lean as I would say 4% is not unrealistic. I've been there, and you can see some of my other videos from earlier this year when I was preparing for an MPC bodybuilding contest. Actually, right here, some of my medals. Where I competed in open class bodybuilding and also the classic physique. So when you look at these videos when I was getting close up to that June 22nd date, you'll see how lean I was getting. I got down to about 4%. Now right now, I'm still considered lean by compared to the general population. Definitely am lean. You can see definition. By any means, I'm not a slouch as far as my muscularity in terms of having the definition. My delts on shoulder day and so on. I'm pretty white right now, but yeah, you can see my definition, and I'm not 4% body fat right now. But I want to speak to the issue of how you carry body fat and your body composition. Really is more the issue because if you're at the beach, if you're in a bodybuilding contest, the reality is no one's walking up to you with a skin caliper or any other device to determine what your body fat is. It's essentially what you look like. And I know, I know some individuals who may, have a higher percentage of body fat, but because they have a lot of muscle, their skin is tight, or just how they carry it, they can look a lot leaner and pull it off pretty good. Conversely, I know individuals who may be single-digit body fat, but they just don't have maybe a lot of muscle or as much muscle, and then they just don't carry it very well, to where they may not appear to have the same amount of definition as an individual who may be carrying a bit more body fat but just has more muscularity. So it's really relative to the individual, more so than just an absolute standard that if you're this percentage of body fat, you automatically are gonna, have definition and be ripped. It's kind of like saying, well, once you're 8% or 6%, you're ripped. Well, yeah, you're gonna definitely have a better chance of having definition of the muscle you have, but that threshold. The threshold is different for everybody. I know for me, once I break down into single digit, I can be 9% and look ripped at 9% body fat. Or in the gym, the average person is going to think I'm very ripped and so on. Now, what I can be from there, yeah, I can be a lot leaner than that. And as mentioned, I can get down to about 4% in that area. Now, is that realistic to stay that lean 12 months out of the year? No, it's not, and it's not necessary. You can be an individual 15% body fat, just right under 20, and be a healthy person. So let's not confuse that. Body fat percent for aesthetic purposes for competition versus that which is considered the reasonable standard or margin which you need to be in with to be healthy are two different things. My other video I made on this channel, which I made specific to women in regards to how lean is realistic, body fat, and so on. I'll link it below in this video. I speak to those issues. The reality is, especially as you get older, with your hormones, it plays a big role in it. So if you get down to 4 or 5% body fat, but you don't have the hormone levels specific to men of testosterone sufficient to support, maintain, and lean muscle mass, you could lose a lot of muscle. And actually, you could have a counterproductive effect where you don't even look that impressive at all because you ended up sacrificing, losing more muscle than what you would want to in an attempt to get that lean. So individuals who are getting single-digit body fat, 5-6% and so on, and still carry a lot of muscle. Typically, you'll see younger men do better at that because of the higher hormone levels. Men that are on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. So if you see a 55-year-old guy that's jacked and who's 5% body fat, chances are he's probably getting a little help there to help augment or enhance his testosterone levels. So these are things that it's really relative as far as where do you need to be and where you want to be. So with myself, yeah, I will get in shape to compete in a bodybuilding contest as a goal. I'm going to compete against next year. I'm looking at perhaps doing as many as 2 shows, at least 1. And for a period of time, I will be on a particular diet. And over a period of about 4 or 5 months, sometimes I may give myself longer than that, 6 months, I'm going to, as a process, gradually bring my body fat down on a diet while training hard, taking in enough calories from protein to where I don't lose muscle and I don't lose a substantial amount of muscle or any amount that's significant enough to make a difference as I come down in weight. For myself, I don't drop a lot of weight. I lose less than 10 pounds to compete. So I'm really not losing any muscle in my opinion, and also based on the measurements I take. So I'll do that for a period of time. I'll get down to really lean and for competition. Once that is over with and I'm more flexible with my diet and what I allow myself to eat, and I don't worry about, to the extent my, obliques show or my 6-pack abs and so on, I don't let myself get too far gone. Granted, I'm not going to just throw caution to the wind and put on 20 pounds and then now I got to undo a lot of what I've done to myself in terms of gaining excess weight or fat that was beyond what was necessary for just quality of life and health. So it's just something to think about. I don't even know what my body fat percent is right now, but I guarantee you, most people are not going to think that I'm not lean right now or that I'm somebody who's overweight or fat or anything like that. And I'm not in competition lean type of shape as far as those single digits I was talking about earlier. But I am healthy and I am respectably lean compared to the general population. And for the long term of my life, really that's going to be more realistic. I'm not looking to walk around at 4% body fat 12 months out of the year. It's just not necessary. I don't think it's unhealthy to temporarily get that lean for a period of time and then bring your body fat back up depending on your situation. For me, it hasn't been, because I don't drastically change a lot in terms of my body weight, so it's not a lot of stress for me. My health, my physicals, everything is great, and my health is thankfully maintained very well at 48 years old. So what are your thoughts and comments on that? What do you think? Do you think there's an absolute threshold for everybody that, for example, you got to get at least, 10% or that 9%? You need to break the threshold to get single digit in order to be able to have definition in the muscle, to have that, defined, ripped look, if you will. Do you think there's a standard that's fairly reasonably consistent for everybody? Within a margin of maybe 1 or 2 error either way, as far as what you need to be? Or do you think it can be very individual, like the examples I gave earlier? I know people who are 14% body fat, and you would think they're single digit because they have a lot of muscle, their skin is really tight, and just how they carry it, in a tank top, you would never think they had that much body fat, and so on. So yeah, I personally, my thoughts on it are, I think your bone structure has a lot to do with it. Your muscle insertions, the type of muscles you have as far as muscle bellies, if you want to use that term. The length of the muscles, what type of shape you have, as far as, some people can flex the bicep and they just don't have a peak. They don't, it's not their genetics. So for them, yeah, they may have a more different situation and being able to look ripped and so on. These are just some of my thoughts. I'm not saying that's the case for everybody, but I think, yeah, bone structure is part of that. How you carry the muscle, it can be an advantage. Your skin is another thing. I hear people kind of mention that sometimes. If you got loose skin, yeah, some people lose a lot of weight and they have their skin's real loose, so that can be an issue too. Sometimes people have a cosmetic surgery to have the skin removed and tightened up, and then, yeah, now you can see their muscle better because that skin's tighter. So those type of issues, and just also muscle mass. The more muscle you have, makes sense. You're going to fill out better. So anyways, yeah, my opinion is, if you're break into single digit body fat, yeah, I mean, it's obviously going to help. But again, I know people that they can have the same body fat percent in terms of a number. Let's say they're both 8 or 9%, but that doesn't mean they're going to both appear to be the same in terms of how ripped they can be. So if you have any thoughts on this subject, something maybe I didn't mention, I'm just making a short video, drop them below. There's a lot more that can be said about different standards for what's considered healthy body fat. And my video on women, which I'll link it below, women, unless they're on some type of hormones or something, it's not healthy for them to drop below a certain percentage of body fat. I think it's like 14, 13%. Anything below that, they can have some health issues. That they can go into premature, they can go stop having their period and so on. It can affect a lot of things differently for women than it does for men. So if you want to subscribe to my channel, I appreciate the support. I'll be making other videos on here from time to time. Different topics, again, from physical fitness, mental health, and sometimes just topics in general that I may be interested in talking about. If you like the video, or maybe you didn't like it, I don't know, that's okay too. Until I make another video and talk to you again, have a good day. Thank you.